This is a press statement, press release by the National Chairman of the People's Democratic Party, Rivers State. The caption of the press release is Governor Fubara deceiving Rivers people into believing that the President, His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu, will force the State House of Assembly into passing the state budget, and also forcing the FCT minister to support his re-election bid. As you all can agree with me, Fubara was elected in 2023 as executive governor of Rivers State for a period of 4 years. And his mandate can be renewed after a 4-year term, particularly in the 2027 general election. But after his election in 2023, few months into his office, there was disagreement between him and members of the State House of Assembly. This agreement led to the bombing of the hallowed chamber of the Rivers State House of Assembly. As a result of this bombing, the President of the Federal Republic brokered a peace deal. And in that peace deal, an 8-point agenda was reached. This peace deal didn't stand. It broke down after a while. As a result of this, the state got involved into a protracted, long period of political crisis. This crisis culminated in a declaration of a state of emergency in March 2025. As a result of the declaration of this emergency, again, the President of the Federal Republic intervened, and peace days were reached. Unlike the previous one, this time, the peace agreement was not documented. Fubara went alone to Abuja to negotiate with the FCT minister and the State House of Assembly, and thereafter with the President. He only returned to Port Harcourt to let us know that they have resolved every issue. He didn't give us details of those agreements. What they agreed, whether he will run an election or not, he didn't tell us. Whether he will drop his SSG or not, he didn't tell us. Fubara told us a peace deal has been made and that the President intervened and they have resolved all the contending issues. But to our surprise, after a few months after the lifting of the state of emergency, the crisis persisted. What happened exactly, we didn't know. But it is my position today to let the Rivers people, and indeed Nigerians, of our own position as a party and citizens of the state. First, why this disagreement was on, Fubara made us believe that every issue as far as the House of Assembly and the FCT minister has been resolved. Unfortunately, the case, all the things he said were not true. We later discovered that the issues were not resolved. Second, he made us believe that the second issue I want to educate, bring to the knowledge of Rivers people is that the PDP convention provides The PDP constitution provides for a national convention in every 4 years, where a new national working committee of the party is elected, and then policies are made for the running of the party over the next 4 years. Up to the time of the convention in Ibadan in November 2025, Fubara was still a PDP governor. He hasn't defected. Every issues, activities leading to the convention was under him. If you check out the programs, every publication of the conventions, his pictures were there. In fact, he allowed the party to participate in that convention. And I led the delegation of Rivers State to the very convention, to the Ibadan convention. Unfortunately, for reasons best known to him, he didn't attend the convention again while we were already in Ibadan. We participated in that convention. Every actions and activities of that convention, we participated in all. It was at that convention that the State Executive Committee of the People's Democratic Party of Rivers State was dissolved. At that convention. Thereafter, we returned. And then after a few weeks, the party put together a caretaker committee for the state. Nominations were made from party leaders, including Prince Uche Secondus, a former national chairman of the party, Right Honorable Austin Okara, a former deputy speaker, Senator Lee Meba, a former senator, Sir Celestine Omeha, a former governor, and Sir Ande Abie Sekebo, a former minister of the Federal Republic. They all made nominations into the caretaker committee, plus my humble self and 2 others who are the original executive of the governor's team. He put together this team, and the National Working Committee of the party constituted the caretaker committee of the state. Although all the issues concerning the Ibadan Convention is a subject of litigation as we speak, but the actions, everything they have done, stands. That is why I'm speaking today as the caretaker committee chairman of the People's Democratic Party. The fourth and final issue I want to bring to the notice of Rivers people is the issue of local government thank you visit, which the FCT minister is currently embarking. Virtually in all the places the FCT minister visited and made speech, the FCT minister said agreements were reached before the lifting of the state of emergency, that the agreement were reached with the State Assembly, with himself, the FCT minister, the National Assembly, the elders of our state, and then before the President of the Federal Republic. And he has been very consistent in his position. One of the things he highlighted in all the places he's visited is that, one, that the governor agreed before the president not to run for a second term. 2, that the governor agreed that he would drop Tami Danagogo as secretary of the state government. That the governor also agreed that he would drop Edison Ese as the chief of staff to government house, including reinstating Chief Sergeant Awuse as chairman Rivers State Council of Traditional Rulers and Chiefs, in addition to several other agreements. But all these things the FCT minister has said, he has been consistent in saying it up to today. Unfortunately, our governor, who is the executive governor of Rivers State, has not said anything about these issues. My position, I have always told the path of peace, but as the governor, we respected him. First and foremost, when he was going for the negotiation in Abuja, he ought not to go alone. The FCT minister went with his team, but he attended alone. That denies us the opportunity of knowing exactly what we agreed with them. Then the state of emergency was lifted. He told us every issue has been resolved. We took him by his word. We believed him. The question is, what has changed? First and foremost, as a party as PDP, we didn't expect him to defect, but he did so. Why I'm doing what I'm doing today is because the vibes we are getting from him and his supporters is not palatable for the people of Rivers State. That the governor will compel the State Assembly to pass his budget. That the governor will compel the FCT minister to return him for a second term. That is not democracy. Let him open up a relationship with the State House of Assembly. There should be a relationship. As a governor, if you don't have a relationship with the State House of Assembly, it means you don't know what you're doing. Second, it was the FCT minister that facilitated his becoming governor in the first place. If you disagree with him, there is always window of negotiation. Luckily, the president intervened first. He broke down. This one again, it has broken down. Who will intervene that it will hold? That caused to question his leadership, capability, and capacity. I will continue to speak the truth at every point in time.